Hey guys, House here. Let's get right into it. I used to be one of those who was like, "Nah, Trump. I don't get it. I don't. I get it, but then I don't get it." And I've always been one of those on the outside looking in, meaning I've never voted and never really planned on voting, but I always leaned, Democratic, if you will. It's what I grew up in, or what I was indoctrinated with, if you will. But yeah, just being real and educating yourself and getting outside sources of media besides the mainstream is when I began to, truly become aware and understand what's really going on. And I'd always been one of those, to say that, man, the Democratic Party, I just feel like it's been infiltrated by uh, global, global elites, if you will. Okay, with a globalist agenda. Okay, it's just not the I had been saying for a while. It's just not the Democratic Party of old. It's so far removed from Clinton's Democratic when Clinton was in office. That party and what it was like even then. Let alone if you start going back to JFK and okay, but neither here or there. So I started to slowly turn. I'm like, this guy can't be racist, man. I mean, I can't sit up here and say, because I've always been a proponent in all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and all kinfolk ain't skin folk. Okay, wrap your head around that. I'll even say it one more time. All kinfolk ain't skin folk, and all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Meaning, just because somebody's not this, you look at them and they're not the same as you, doesn't necessarily mean that they're not the same as you or don't come from what you come from, even ancestral. Okay, if you were to go back generations and generations, you very well come from the same ancestry, if you will. Neither here or there. I don't want to get too deep into that. All skin folk ain't kinfolk, and all kinfolk ain't skinfolk. Also, so what I'm saying on the flip side of that, just because you see somebody that does look like you doesn't mean they are or come from what you came from or been through or this, that, there, and the other. Okay, they may come from even ancestry, may come from something totally different. Just over time, that's what you got. Somebody that looked like you, but don't share nothing with you. Brings me to okay, Kamala. Because see, I was one of those who shed a tear when Obama got in. Okay, I was like 2021 then. Okay, be 37 next month. I was one of those who was blinded by the whole Obama effect. Okay, why? Because I didn't truly have a grasp on all kinfolk ain't skinfolk and all skinfolk ain't kinfolk. So I'm looking at someone who looks like me and I just gravitated to blindly. Okay, not yet tried to. I wasn't nowhere near trying to enlighten myself or trying to take any kind of journey, enlightened journey. But growing, okay, but growing, learning, enlightened, reading, you know, start to see things are not what they're meant to be, are supposed to be, or what they are. Things aren't what they are or appear to be. Okay, a bunch of smoke and mirrors. Okay, and I was starting to see that in the Democratic Party. Okay, I saw a lot of pandering for votes and popularity. I started to see that because I started even see, and then the icing on the cake was when Biden was like, "If you don't vote for me, you're not black." I'm like, "Oh, okay." That was the line for me. Okay, because everything here I'm seeing, and even when Trump was in office, things were good. Things were cheap. I think back to that time when I had my place with my lady friend now, but I had my own place and groceries was cheap, gas was cheap. Dude, I remember being able to take $20 and go to Walmart, and that was for me groceries for the week. I kid you not, get my water, get my soda. When I was on the whole soda hype, I get some sort of meat, whether it be chicken, okay, beef or something like that. Make sure I had some rice, get some eggs. I didn't need much. I make sure, I was on the whole top ramen thing. I'd get some tortillas, bread. Promise you, 20 bucks. Let's not forget the lunch meat, cheese. I'm telling you, $20 covered a lot when Trump was in office. Fast forward. Those same things now would probably cost me about 75 to 80 bucks. If I were to go and get all those things now. Things were good. If folks were to take a step back and common sense, logic, get out of emotion, because that's what the mainstream news media, that's what they try to get folks on with their propaganda, is to have you off of emotion. Because again, we understand that majority of these news stations lean to one side, and it's the left. And well, another thing that kind of turned me towards, that really just had me like, okay, Trump is that dude, is when they try to take him out. See, it's one thing. I've always listen. It's one thing. Okay, I am a black man, so I look at my examples as far as, oh man, the powers that be going after him. Okay, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Okay, I won't get into like celebrity. I'll get into the stay on that side of it. Malcolm X, Martin. Okay, folks that stood for something, trying to do the right thing. Okay, and they would go after them in all sorts of ways and manners and blackmail. Okay, well, I look at Trump and I'm like, man, what? How? Okay, so he's white, but man, they treat him as if he is. They didn't try to put felons on my guy. They didn't say he's this, that, there, and the other to women. Then the icing on the cake was them literally trying to take his life. Now, if you don't think that was in any way, form, or fashion, an inside job, some say staged, and nah, man. It, it's too much. If that guy goes down, do you know how altering? That's the whole altering of this whole reality that we're in. We luckily we can continue on. If Trump goes down, the world, because see, I hate folks that are just not caught up just globally on how things work, let alone nationally here or domestically here in the United States, and don't truly understand the gravity of our or just, I don't want to say power, but what folks hold, you know what I mean? And Trump is one of those people, and over time I really got to, even though I was kind of standoffish, again, never voted, I don't necessarily call myself a Democratic or Republican, I'm not, but there was a time where I leaned Democratic. But as I've matured, I've gotten older, and I've done research, and I've gotten hip, a lot of my people don't know that Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. You know what I mean? And so and that's just one of the things that, like, man, started having me viewing Trump like, wait a minute. Then when you go and look at the things that he did, increased funding to HBCUs. Let's just talk about this year. I've seen Trump go and sit down and the black journalists, I'm gonna mess it up. Okay, black panel, black journalist. Okay, Trump showed up. Like Daniel in the lion's den. Trump showed up. He was invited. He showed up. You know who didn't show up to the National Black Journalists Association or whatever it's called? You know who didn't show up? and who was invited as well, Kamala. Hey, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Uh, how could you not go for the guy that's at least willing to, first of all, come into the lion's den, proverbially, metaphorically, take on all sorts of, you go on YouTube and look at the videos, take on all sorts of questions. One from an extremely rude, she was very rude. If you just real and you don't really have that kind of hate and all that in your heart, and you're just a realist and you're fair, you're a genuine person, you'll hear both sides and you make your own isolated, critical conclusion. You draw your own isolated, critical conclusion. And really, I'm not sitting up here and saying, "Oh, go Republic." I'm just saying it's just something not right with that Democratic Party, man. And it's just something not right how they think that they could just depend on. You know what I'm saying? Like they just got us in the bag, you know. And then if you because I remember, I know I used to be one, even though outside looking out, I used to look at black conservatives like, oh, bootlicking, oh, tap dancing. And now that I've come to the realization of what it truly is, what's really going on, and they had abortion tents or whatnot outside the DNC. Who do you think that's for? Why? Because they just know we part of that. We gonna put them in all. So all these things could, and we could. But yet the woman who has no kids of her own is willing to tell a woman, yeah, black women at that, yeah, boy, yeah, hell, if all the way up until if you want to literally birth the baby, put it there on the table, and then decide whether you want to abort it or not. That's murder, y'all. Oh, I don't know if I should say that, but anyway, I'm trying to keep it clean over here. I don't know. I don't know if I should. So just yeah, I'm gonna be careful. But getting back to the Trumpster, I used to be one of those that was like, man, what's this whole MAGA? I don't know, man. Is this some kind of racial undertone at all? No, but I always been one of those about history. It took honors history even in high school. I've always been, and again, outside looking in, I am a here in America, but I see if you're all about what America's about, the good and the bad, you truly understand what Trump stands for. You truly understand what MAGA means. No, it's not, oh, make America, oh, let's take it back to slavery. No, that's not what you got to those that are patriotic, they understand that America is flawed and all. But what you can't do is just negate the past or act as if even in the past there wasn't any good. Because even now things aren't all good. But yet what has been one thing why we even got this far, granted things were so bad back then, but we've even gotten this far, is because there was always a stride to be good, hell, to be great. And when folks view Trump, when they see that it's that in that guy, it truly lies hope. I mean, folks right now, the Democratic side, what I've been viewing is they're trying to tell you, they're going off joy, and trying to make it seem like things are good. Man, realists, those that are not blind and brainwashed, they know that things aren't good right now. Folks truly understand that if that man had went down last month, had he got assassinated, Trump, if he had went down, we talk about world altering, reality altering. So I understand why folks feel like, no, Trump is what America needs. Things were great when he was here. When you understand what he's talking about as far as America and the people here, the people already here. Not just, but I just seen him there with Vietnamese Americans. He's for the American people, whether you're black, white, red, or yellow. Now, the media is going to try to paint him a racist, but again, mind you, before Trump was a Democrat, just like JFK, just Tulsi, even myself, like I said, I was leaning. There's a lot of folks even now that are waking up and coming over. Trump was one of them. He used to be a Democrat, funded Democratic. Jesse Jackson, why they want to say he's racist, funded his campaign, and many others on the Democratic side. It wasn't until he became on the Republic side that he became a racist and hated and all this. But those who have got past all that, the barricade of lies and deceit, they see Trump for who he is. Even the oldest of the oldest see Trump as a truly patriotic, a throwback to the forefathers, if you will. It may sound crazy, but it don't sound as crazier than Nancy Pelosi saying Joe Biden ought to be on Mount Rushmore. Sleepy Joe. It's lucky the guy can even put his pants on straight. Okay? It's a wonder the guy can even wake up and and who is that? Jill Biden. Oh, Joe, you don't have your pants on backwards this morning. Good job. But anyhow, probably video went a little long. I'm gonna try to do some daily content on this whole election and how things are going thus far. I did one thing. I was no that I'll save it for my next video. I'll save it for my next video. Once again, like, subscribe, try to get these views and these subscriptions up on this channel. Hey, like I've been making posts. I've been commenting, especially to a lot of folks on social media. That's all for Kamala. I just put hashtag Trump 2024. It's the only way to put it. Black man here in America, Trump 2024.